Hey, haters are going to hate. And Paul was coming up against a lot of that. There were a lot of people who were just hating on Paul in the New Testament. And they were criticizing him. And they were coming up against him and attacking him. And in Philippians, Paul was dealing with a bunch of haters who were bragging on what they had done. They were from good families. They were good people. They had good educations. They had done a lot of good charitable things. And they're bragging, and they're kind of putting everything on that. And they're saying, we did this, we did this. What have you done? And Paul is like, just wait a minute, Sparky. If it is all about that, I could brag. If I wanted to, I could brag. Because Paul was a good kid from a really good family. He had been raised in the church. He was an uber church kid. And he had done all the right things, been through all the right little programs, and knew all the right buzzwords, and knew all the right things to say. But he is saying, if it's all about that, if anybody has a reason to brag, I could brag. But then he tells him, no, but it's not about that. Here's what it's all about. And in Philippians chapter 3, verses 7 through 14, this is what he says. Whatever I used to count as my greatest accomplishments, I've written them off as a loss because of the Anointed One. And more so, I now realize that all I gained and thought was important was nothing but yesterday's garbage compared to knowing the anointed Jesus, my Lord. For him I have thrown everything aside. It's nothing but a pile of waste, so that I may gain him. When it counts, when I want to be found belonging to him, not clinging to my own righteousness based on law, but actively relying on the faithfulness of the Anointed One. This is true righteousness supplied by God, acquired by faith. I want to know him inside and out. I want to experience the power of his resurrection and join in his suffering, shaped by his death, so that I may arrive safely at the resurrection from the dead. I'm not there yet, nor have I become perfect. But I am charging on to gain anything and everything the Anointed One has in store for me. And nothing will stand in my way, because he has grabbed me and won't let me go. Woo! Brothers and sisters, as I've said, I know I've not arrived, but there's one thing I'm doing. I'm leaving my old life behind, putting everything on the line for this mission. I'm sprinting towards the only goal that counts, to cross the line, to win the prize, to hear God's call, to resurrection, life found exclusively in Jesus the Anointed. Good stuff. God's grabbed a hold of us, so don't let anything hold you back. And Paul talks about the fact there's only one thing that is really infinitely important, and it's knowing God. We judge people on a lot of really stupid things. We judge people based on position, on what job they have, or who they are socially, and we think, oh, they're really important because they have this position, or they've done this, or they're really popular, or whatever. Or we judge them based on their background, their family or their education, where they came from, whether or not they have money. We judge them based on what they wear. You got some cool clothes, or whatever. We judge them based on their bank account. We judge them based on all the wrong things, or we put our worth in all the wrong things. We think that we have worth because of our background, or because of our bank account, or because of our social standing, or because of our really cool clothes. But all the status symbols that we think are so important are just a big bunch of crap compared to knowing Jesus. Knowing Jesus is the most important thing. It is infinitely important. As Christians, our identity is not about what we wear. It's not about what we do. It's not about what we have in the bank or any of that stuff. It's based on the fact that we know God and we are known by him. Whew! We aren't perfect, but we're not giving up. We keep pressing on. We keep moving towards him. We're going to leave the past behind us, and we're going to chase after Jesus with everything we've got. We're not going to let anything hold us back, because God has grabbed a hold of us. So we're not going to let anything hinder us. The most important thing is knowing God. The most important thing is knowing Him and making Him known. And we're going to do that. It's not about what we look like. It's not about where we've come from. It's not for better or worse. It's not about what we've done in our past. It's not about what we're wearing or what we have in the bank account or in the parking lot. It's about this. Do we know God, and are we going to make Him known? That is what matters most. God bless you guys.